Today we're going to talk about something that I think everyone can relate to. That moment when you just want to quit. That feeling deep in your gut when the struggle is just so overwhelming, and honestly, giving up feels like the only option left. But what if that feeling isn't the end of the road? What if it's actually a sign? A sign that you are right on the edge of your greatest breakthrough. Let's explore that together.
I mean, come on, let's be real. Every single one of us has been here. It's that little voice in your head that whispers, "What's the point? You're not getting anywhere." It's that deep, bone-weary exhaustion after trying for days or weeks or maybe even years. And quitting, it can feel like such a relief, right? Like you can finally breathe again. But I want to put an idea out there today. What if that intense desire to quit is actually a signal? Not to stop, but a signal that something big is about to happen. Let's really dive into why you shouldn't give up.
All right, so let's get right to the heart of it. The first thing we need to understand is that you're facing a choice. Maybe you're even facing it right now, today. And it's a choice between two very different kinds of pain. Understanding what's really on the line here, well, it's absolutely crucial.
So look, you've got two kinds of pain on the table. Over on the left, you've got the pain of perseverance. Think of it like the burn you feel when you're working out. Yeah, it hurts, but it's a good hurt. It's temporary, and it's making you stronger. It leads to a reward. Now look at the other side, the pain of regret. That is a whole different story. It's not sharp, it's this dull, constant ache. It's the ghost of what if that just follows you around, creating this emptiness, this feeling of what could have been if only you'd held on a little bit longer. One pain builds you, the other one tears you down.
Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. The pain of regret is so much greater than the pain of perseverance. The daily grind, that's temporary. The frustration you're feeling right now, temporary. But that question, what if I had just kept going for one more day? Man, that can last a lifetime. And that is a weight that is so much heavier than any struggle you're facing today.
This right here, this is a game-changing way to think about it. You just never know if tomorrow is the day. The entire landscape of your life could literally change overnight. So it's always better to keep pushing toward that breakthrough, even when it feels like it's a million miles away, than it is to quit the day before it was all going to happen. And that means the most important day to keep going is always today.
Okay, so let's build on that idea. This next part is for anybody out there who feels like what you have right now just isn't enough. We're going to talk about a really powerful idea called the seed principle. And it's all about seeing the incredible potential hidden in what looks like a small, insignificant beginning. Man, this question really hits home, doesn't it? You've been praying and working and striving for this big, amazing outcome. The huge success, the fully healed relationship, the finished project, the mighty tree. And what do you get? A seed. A tiny, unimpressive, kind of boring seed. And it is so tempting to feel let down, right? To think, this is it? This is all I get to work with? But if you think that way, you are missing the miracle that's sitting right there in the palm of your hand.
And this is the heart of the whole thing. Whatever is in your hands right now, that one little opportunity, that limited resource, that single idea, that's not just a small thing. That is your seed. It might not look like the tree you were picturing, but packed inside that tiny shell is the entire blueprint. It holds exponential potential, just waiting for you to nurture it.
So how do you actually grow that seed? Well, the path is pretty clear. It's based on that timeless wisdom. Whoever can be trusted with a little can also be trusted with much. So, step 1, you get a seed, a small trust, a minor opportunity. Then comes step 2, and this is the most important part. You have to be faithful. You can't dismiss it. You treat that small thing with honor, with excellence. You pour your absolute best into it. And only then do you get to step 3. You prove you can be trusted with more. You can't just skip from 1 to 3. It doesn't work that way.
So here's the big mindset switch we all have to make. Stop looking off into the future for the real opportunity. The real opportunity is what's in your hand right now. Honor it, nurture it, give it everything you've got. Because when you do that, you are watering the very seed that's going to grow into the breakthrough you've been praying for. Never, ever despise your small beginnings.
This brings us to a really powerful concept, especially for those times when the process feels, dark and lonely and like nothing is happening. This is all about reframing that struggle, not as some kind of setback, but as the most critical period of your entire development.
Listen, this one idea could completely change how you see your current struggles. We are so conditioned to measure growth by what's visible, right? The promotion, the public praise, the results you can see. But that's only half the story. The most important foundational growth, it happens underground. It happens in the dark, where nobody is clapping for you, where you feel completely alone and unseen. That is where the real work gets done. So let's talk about what's really going on in that dark season. You're not just waiting around. No, no, no. You are actively building. You're growing deeper roots, creating an anchor that will hold you steady in the future. You're building resilience, so you can bend in the storms of life without breaking. Your character, your sincerity, it's all being tested and proven. You're forging a strength in that isolation that you can't get any other way. This is not wasted time. This is essential preparation for everything that's coming your way.
And this just says it all, doesn't it? This is the why. The whole point of that struggle, that time underground, is to develop roots so deep that when the winds of life start howling, and they will, you will not be moved. You'll still be standing, stronger than ever.
So I want to ask you this, straight up. Does this feel like where you are right now? Do you feel like you're in one of those seasons of just building roots? If you do, I genuinely want to invite you to share just one thing in the comments that's helping you keep going. Seriously, don't underestimate how powerful your story is. What you share could be the exact thing that someone else needs to read today to hold on.
Okay, let's talk about the big one. The thing that can be so discouraging when you're on a long journey, the myth of the overnight success. We see people who seem to pop up out of nowhere and achieve these amazing things, and it can make our own slow, grinding progress feel like a total failure. But it's time to pull back the curtain on that idea.
There's this beautiful quote from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow that just nails it. He says, "They, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night." That says everything, doesn't it? The greatest achievements aren't some sudden burst of luck or genius. They're built in the quiet hours, toiling away in the dark when no one is watching, when the rest of the world is fast asleep.
So from now on, let's just agree on a new definition, okay? Overnight success is a total myth. What it really is a breakthrough that looks sudden to everybody else. But what it's really standing on is a foundation of years, sometimes a whole lifetime, of private, unseen, thankless work. It's the result of all that growth in the dark we were just talking about.
And what does that unseen work actually feel like? It feels like this list. It's grinding away in obscurity, wondering if anyone will ever notice. It's facing those crushing disappointments that make you want to throw in the towel. It's overcoming constant frustration. It's battling your own fears and that nagging voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough. If this list sounds familiar to you, I need you to hear this loud and clear. You are not failing. You are forging your breakthrough.
Okay, so this is where it all comes together. We've talked about the perseverance, planting the seeds, working in the dark. So how does the breakthrough actually show up? Well, it happens in this really fascinating way that can only be described as gradual, then sudden.
For what feels like forever, the process is just gradual. It's slow. It's methodical. It's the day in, day out work. You wake up, you show up, you do the thing, you go to bed, you do it all again. It's the discipline of staying faithful to a process, even when you're seeing zero results. And let's be honest, it can feel mundane, even boring.
And this phase, it just keeps going. This is the ultimate test of your trust. It's the commitment to keep watering the ground when you can't see a single sprout. It's the faith to believe that even though your eyes see absolutely nothing changing, something powerful is happening under the surface. This is the hardest part for so many of us.
You keep doing that gradual work, day after day. And then, bam, it happens, suddenly. It feels like it comes out of nowhere. All of that slow, hidden, gradual work finally hits a tipping point, and an acceleration begins. Doors that were sealed shut for years just fly open. Problems that felt impossible just dissolve. It looks and feels like a miracle, but it's a miracle you earned one day at a time in the gradual. You see how it works? All that stuff down here in the gradual, the daily diligence, the routines, trusting the process, that's where you build the momentum. You keep at it until you hit that tipping point and you launch into the sudden. That's the acceleration where everything changes. The key here is that the sudden part isn't an accident. It's the harvest you reap from all the seeds you faithfully planted back in the gradual.
All right, we're bringing it all home now. This final section is all about a powerful, final encouragement for you to just hold on, to stand firm, because your breakthrough truly is coming.
This verse from Galatians holds such an incredible promise. It says, "At the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Now, notice it says, "Let us not become weary." It knows you will get tired. That's a guarantee. But it gives you the one reason you need to push through that weariness. A harvest is promised at the right time.
There's only one condition, just one. You cannot give up.
I love this principle from Proverbs. It says, a righteous person falls 7 times but gets back up. Look, life is going to knock you down. That's a fact. But it's never over. The math of resilience is so simple but so profound. If you fall down 7 times, you get up 8. Your only job is to get up one more time than you've been knocked down. That's it.
So I want to end with this, speaking directly to you. Yeah, you. If you've been fighting and praying and showing up and doing everything you know how to do, please don't grow weary now. That finish line, that breakthrough, it could be closer than it has ever been before. Faith is reaching for what you can't see yet. So keep reaching, keep going.
And that brings us to one final thought, a question for you to take with you. I really want you to make this personal. After everything we've talked about, what is that one thing, that dream, that relationship, that personal goal that you will commit right now to not quitting on today? Get it clear in your mind, and then just decide to take one more step forward.
If this message inspired you today, it would mean the world if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Be thankful, so you won't miss out on what's coming next. And if you thought of one specific person while watching this, someone who really needs to hear this encouragement, please share it with them. You just never know the kind of impact that might have. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.